Hello everybody, welcome back to Ball Street. I'm here in Ball Street North. Paul's over in America. So I've done Social Club, you should go check that out. A very good video, but we also want to talk about some other bits and pieces. And what we're going to do is we're going to get your votes. We're going to have a discussion like adults, like we do down south. And then we're going to have, you can put in a second vote.
That's why people watch us.
And then we'll get some answers to these questions.
Okay.
All right. So let's kick off with, should Pickford move to Chelsea? Few rumblings in the press, Ped.
There's no rumblings.
There be rumblings.
Southern media nonsense.
So it's online, so it's not just Southern.
Nonsense.
So you've got internet up here, right?
Mate, I'm not being funny. I had to pick you up because you walked the wrong way. So don't ever come up here dissing us when you haven't even got simple navigational skills.
Navigational skills?
Yeah, that's what it's called up here.
Is it?
In the street.
All right. Initial vote,
Okay.
Should Pickford
No.
move to Chelsea? Dave?
Yes.
Yes, interesting.
Oh, what a shout.
I think Pickford should stay where he is. Actually.
Of course he should.
That's my opinion, right? Dave, why do you think he should move to Chelsea?
There's an opportunity in there. Of course, Courtois goes to Real Madrid, which is
exactly
on the cards. There's an opportunity there for Pickford to come in and improve himself, become a better goalkeeper.
That's what it's about.
And I think under Sarri, as a goalkeeper, you learn so much about playing football. Ball at your feet all the time, Sarri ball, all that stuff, likes possession, likes playing out the back. For me, that's what Pickford lacked in the World Cup. Especially the game against Croatia, him being able to find a pass other than just booting.
He's a goalie. He's a fucking goalie. What are you talking about? He's a goalkeeper. He's not the number 10. He's a goalkeeper.
Football's evolved,
Ped.
I'm not being funny, right? He will get bored at Chelsea. He will get bored.
When he's had 500 touches in a game?
Just standing there doing nothing. At Everton, he's guaranteed action. He's guaranteed to earn his wages. Last 2 seasons, think about the last 2 seasons, he's been at Sunderland and Everton. And he's been earning his money. He goes to Chelsea, he'll go stale. He'll go stale because he'll just be underused.
We're saying he's a key point in Sarri's build-up when they're playing from the back.
Bollocks. He's a goalkeeper, right? He's a goalkeeper. Nonsense. Listen, this is Kasper Schmeichel's signing for Chelsea. I'm just going to give you the inside now. Kasper Schmeichel is signing for Chelsea.
Right. Not the question.
No, I know it's not.
Right.
But Leicester already bought Danny Ward from Liverpool. See, this is why you need to be up north, because this is where the movers and shakers are. They've sold. Liverpool have sold Danny Ward to Leicester. Then Kasper Schmeichel will sign for Chelsea, and it's game on for winner.
Okay.
He can play 800 passes all he wants with his little tufty blonde beard.
But what if Chelsea don't want Kasper Schmeichel?
But they do want him. It's happening. Jordan Pickford is a smokescreen.
Right.
He's signing a 14-year deal at Everton.
Seen that.
14 years.
14 years, yeah.
Never once going to play a pass.
Wasn't it? That was Daily Star that said
That was just,
years.
honestly, it's
Ped
coming.
times. The thing with Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
That's a good point. He's going to learn.
What will he learn?
He's going to. What? Do you know what he's going to be? He's going to be at.
Well, he'll have multiple managers. That's a good start.
That's true, yeah, we work under a lot of managers. That's a major club that's generally in the Champions League.
It's not a major club. They're not a major club.
And they'll have a season. You've got Rob Green and what's his name? Caballero is the second goalkeeper. Willie. So he will definitely be the number one for a good season with Europa League football, something that he's used to there. And then next season they move forward and he develops as a goalkeeper.
Chelsea are not moving forward. Number one, they're not a major club. Let's get that right. They're not a major club. They can't even finance their own new stadium. Let's get that right. Okay?
Okay.
So they're not right, Chelsea.
The hate in your eyes. Like
there's no hate.
I hate Chelsea.
There's no hate. There's no hate, but Chelsea are not a major club. Let's get that right. They're not a major club.
Why are they not a major club?
Because they're not a major club. They've had a little pocket of success. They're not a majge club.
Right. But they're a club that generally plays at a higher level than Everton.
That's going to stop. Right, they're going to go backwards.
Right now.
They're going to go backwards, aren't they? Let's be honest, they're going backwards. They're moonwalking their way out the Champions League as we speak.
I hope so.
You know, so that's all finished. The change, the owner is a rat.
No point watching Chelsea this season.
He's appointing managers while he's still got the other manager. He's not even giving them any crossover. They're finished as a club.
Okay.
Mark my words, Chelsea will be in without the top four for the next 3 or 4 years.
So why would it be better for Pickford to stay at Everton?
Because it's Everton.
Come on, you're betting that.
No.
You're betting that.
Jordan Pickford will stay at Everton for this coming season because he wouldn't be leaving. He hasn't even got back to pre-season training. He's not even getting back to pre-season. His first game.
Is he going to become a better player at Everton?
Yes.
Than he would at Chelsea?
Of course he will.
Why is that?
Because he'd be busy. Right?
Will he stop parrying shots back into the...
He doesn't parry shots back anywhere. This is nonsense made up by Jermaine Janus, who shouldn't even be on telly. He's shite for a start, right? He's like.
Well, me and him have got something in common because that's what I think about.
He's like the new. He doesn't listen. I'll tell you right now.
I've seen him do it. I've watched him do it.
I'll tell you what. Right. I'll tell you what. I run a successful YouTube Everton channel, right? I watched every single Everton game last season, as I have done for basically 35 years. He's done it about 3 times, which is fair enough because he's a goalkeeper. But as we've seen at the World Cup, right? Sometimes what goalkeepers need to do is just save the ball, right? There's too much of this bollocks about what happens afterwards. We seen with with the Uruguay goalkeeper, right? When he tried to be all smart and do something mad with his hands.
That's not. I'm not saying that there's a keeper is straight at him. I'm saying he dives down and he parries it instead of parrying it away.
What he does is he saves it, and what happens afterwards can't all.
But that's why I'm saying there's still space for him to improve that
which
part of his game.
do at Everton.
That's what I'm saying.
Which he'll do at Everton.
Because of the volume of shots he's taking. Right? That's what you're saying.
What you've illustrated in this short video is that football has gone absolutely mad because we're asking goalkeepers to do things that are not...
because you've got to change. You can't just be, my keeper is going to punt it long. You can't just do that.
Right, I just had to do that because otherwise it was someone's face. Right, goalkeepers have to do the basics first, right? And have to be brilliant at that.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
If they make the odd mistake, that happens in football. It does happen. So when you are picking... Before the World Cup, it was all, is Pickford good enough? Oh, he's not Pickford good enough and all this. Butland is... Full package. Is Butland this? Is Butland that? Right? Butland doesn't even play in the Premier League anymore, so he can't be very good, can he?
Wow.
Jordan Pickford will improve.
Butland, didn't he play for Southampton?
No. Oh my God. See, this is what we're talking about. I might as well just go home. Stoke goalkeeper. Butland.
He's devastated. He's had a moment. Got something wrong. Right.
You know, I'm thinking of Fraser Forster.
There you go. I think maybe you're not thinking of Jordan Pickford then. Maybe you've been thinking of Fraser Forster all this time. The big dopey looking fella who can't catch a ball. He's never done anything in his life. No, he needs a couple of years, right, to absolutely hone his skills. Now that might not be at Everton. I'm not saying it will be. Football is it's a fickle mistress. So that might not be at Everton, but he will be at Everton this season, and he will get better at Everton.
Better off his line, we're better with the ball at his feet. Just be a better keeper. All round.
He wouldn't.
All round, yeah.
No,
It's just
nonsense.
become a footballer.
I'll tell you what, you're as good as your backup keepers. You are, as a goalkeeper, because they're the people who train with you every single day.
Or your goalkeeping coach.
Do you know what? I actually don't think a goalkeeping coach, it's a big thing, but they're the people who just kick the ball at you. I think it's honestly, I think your backup goalkeeper.
But then you're looking at someone like David De Gea's development and the goalkeeping coach at Manchester United. Like they're a big part of his development.
But look at his...
He catches it now, don't parry into danger.
Well, no, because
he can play with the ball at his feet. He's become an all-round good goalkeeper because of the coaches. And he said that. He stated that.
But also, you're as good as your backup goalkeeper. Look at Liverpool. Every one of their first choice goalkeepers used to be the backup goalkeeper. Now, but if you've got
a point over here.
If you've got a strong backup goalkeeper, I think that always helps you in your development as well. I think at Chelsea, he'd be dealing with Rob Green and Willie Caballero, who are both shit. Let's be fair. So it's Casper Schmeichel.
Should Pickford move to Chelsea?
Yes, 100%.
With that. Ped.
Of course he shouldn't.
Of
course he shouldn't.
I think he should probably stay at Everton.
Of course he should.
Sticking with my vote. Right, second one. Never thought we'd get there, but we have, can Arsenal seriously challenge next season? This was sent in by @7rivers. Can Arsenal seriously challenge for the title?
What are they challenging for? I think that's the first thing, right?
Yeah,
are they challenging for the top 4 or are they challenging for the title?
I think...
Because there's two very different answers, right?
They're not challenging for the league.
Yeah, 100%.
Because basically... They've had this new manager will strip back all the problems from last season and will make them a lot more of a competitive team. But by becoming more of a competitive team, they'll probably lose that little bit of an edge that you need to get your top 4.
So let's say seriously challenge next season. Let's say it's for top 4. Okay. Yeah. So initial votes. Can they challenge for the top 4, Ped?
I think they can. Yeah.
I think they'll be in the top 4. Not just challenging, they'll be in the top 4.
So we'll be out.
Chelsea.
Don't think.
There you go. 2 arguments won.
I don't think that. My initial vote...
It's because the goalie's not good enough.
That's a big thing. They need to sign Jordan Pickford.
My initial vote is that I don't think they will challenge for the top 4 this season. I think there's too much work to do. Let's look at the...
Hang on, Chelsea weren't in the top 4 last season. So how can they be out of the
Spurs.
Top? Okay. Well, you just changed that on a whim.
No, because you've got to think of the whole 16s, haven't you? You've got to pick 2 that would drop out of the 6.
Why would Spurs drop out?
Because they've not made any signings.
They've not made any signings for 4 years.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is now the point where all the other teams are getting better and Spurs aren't getting better.
Are they not getting better as a team?
They may be, but there's no development. There's no extra element. Son's not coming in.
Maybe they
He's
should
made a
buy
massive
Jordan
change.
Pickford.
Maybe Jordan Pickford's the guy. Well, Hugo Lloris, who's a better goalkeeper anyway.
I don't think he is a better goalkeeper. I think Hugo Lloris is actually a myth.
A myth?
Honestly, I think he's a
myth?
myth.
He just won the World Cup!
Oh, anyone can win the World Cup. You just have to be
Get a
French.
stinker on the day. But anyway, let's talk about Arsenal first. Because you seem to be quite positive
just
about
won the
Arsenal.
World Cup!
How many shots did he actually have to save?
He made some brilliant saves at the World Cup!
Exactly.
Stop.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's talk about Arsenal, okay?
Yeah.
Because you seem quite positive about Arsenal.
Yep.
Why are you so positive about Arsenal?
Good signings. Signings that they need.
So
Signings
let's
that you
go
don't
through these
expect.
signings. So Bernd Leno. So I'll give you the devil's advocate
Yeah.
side of it, right? Bernd Leno is from. I was showing Chris and Hennig about it on a video when he'd signed. He was saying he has a bit of a Karius aspect to him. He loves a mistake.
I think it's a different thing to Karius. Karius just bottles it in big games. Bernd
He's
Leno's...
supposed to be quite bad with his feet.
He's not
It's
bad
quite
with his
important
feet.
for a goalkeeper.
He's-
Apparently it's amazing for a goalkeeper.
Bernd Leno made mistakes last season over the last 2 seasons. Only one keeper's made more, but it's because Leverkusen play out the back. I agree, his kick in on the full when the ball comes back to him, and if he doesn't take a touch, is a bit dodgy.
Right.
Again, something that could be coached out. Last season in the Bundesliga, his save percentage was 60%. His average is 66. So it's just dropped.
Garbage.
So as in he's had a bad season for his
Right,
own standards.
What's good?
You know, 65 plus 65 is good.
Right.
The best of the best is 80%. So it's one of these things where Bernd Leno is a good young, 26 years old, again, young keeper that
'Cause he's gonna
needs
be
a,
the
good, needs a good coach and backup goalkeeper around him.
Well,
Combining our points there.
Are you not thinking that Czech might start the season and there might be a crossover period?
I think in pre-season it's been Bernd Leno's been number one.
But I suppose with a new manager, you've got that.
Lichtsteiner, Guendouzi, Torreira, and you tried to say it last time, Papastapopoulos.
Papastafopoulos.
Okay, you've been practicing that one.
Oh yeah, been absolutely.
So-
That's what I've been doing.
His
all summer.
nickname will be
All of
Dave.
these guys are people that, like you said in Social Club, they're not those giant names that Arsenal fans might have been hoping for. Because, I mean, let's have it right. The Arsenal squad that Wenger left, that's probably the worst Arsenal squad that's been around in his tenure.
It lacked those players, I think. Like you had Aubameyang, you got Lacazette, 2 wonderful goal scorers, 2 wonderful players. Mesut Ozil on his days like the best attacking midfielder in the Premier League. His days haven't been frequent enough in the last few years. But signing someone like Lichtsteiner, you're thinking Hector Bellerin, what does he need to improve? Positioning, defending, being a bit of a shithouse. What does Lichtsteiner do? That is his whole entire game. Is that? I think that is a big benefit. Lucas Torreira, again, a ball-winning central midfielder, a little bit like Gattuso, played at a diamond in Sampdoria, really good at moving in between, and governing that space in between the lines. Again, a player that Arsenal needed.
But they've lost Wilshere.
Yeah, so they've lost
38 games played last season.
but at the same time, so inconsistent in terms of when he's hot and when he's cold. And I think
good season.
bringing that consistency in and winning the ball back. He had a good season and moved to West Ham. That's kind of the level, right?
Yeah, because
But you expect him to be playing for a top 4 team, don't you?
Yeah, yes.
With
true.
his
Someone
talent.
else would have gone for him.
At
I
19,
don't.
you expected him to be playing for a decent team, right? And not when he was playing against Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, and he was man of the match. Massively dropped off.
Yeah, I still think that, if he's getting 38 games in that Arsenal team, then he should be. He's of a level that's probably higher than West Ham at this point in time.
They need
Anyway.
someone who's going to get Grant Xhaka out the team
Well, that is Lucas
because
Torreira.
he's a myth.
Guendouzi as well was half decent as well from the little games I've watched.
The reason they won't get into it for me is because it's surely going to take more than a year or more than a season to turn them into the kind of team that the manager wants, which is completely different from Wenger.
But it is, and what they've added already is that pressing, that aggression, and you listen to them talking to Hector Bellerin, for example, talking about the methods, how training is 10 times harder, doing more work in the gym, they're working harder on team shape. All the things we've, as fans, been going, Wenger's shape's awful, they can't defend, they're rubbish. All these problems seems to be fixing them. Whether he fixes them, I don't know. I'm not watching their training 24/7, but at the same time...
But you're watching
makes a lot
Jordan
of sense.
Pickford's.
Yeah, because...
You need to cut your time equally.
I just wonder with Arsenal, even if these players come in and do well for them, and I do think Emery's going to make them more tactically astute. I think when you compare them to the other teams in the top 4, I still think they're miles off.
Yeah, I think they don't really have that player in midfield who can pick up the ball and make things happen. I just don't see it at the moment.
I mean, that's Emery's model. Is what Sevilla was 2 strong defensive midfielders
Oh, yeah,
and a
yeah.
playmaker. So they've kind of got that with Mesut Ozil, and then they've got Torreira, someone like a Guendouzi could come in or a Xhaka. We don't think he's a great player, but if he plays a role, like Stephen Nzonzi went from playing for Stoke to being like in a Europa League final under Emery. Yeah. I think that's the quality of his coaching and the quality of being like two strong defensive midfielders. Let's play a playmaker. At PSG, that model didn't work. We had too many players that were from the previous regime. There's so many differences in the dressing room and all that crap.
Yeah, it's a fit like every player into one team, didn't he? So,
which I kind of think with Arsenal, it makes a lot more sense, and it's kind of like
I agree.
Emery signings, Emery system. Like he's so good with the strike. Like Carlos Bacca, Kevin Gramero went from like goal scorers 15 goals a year to like 30 goals a year, which you could see with Lacazette and Aubameyang both have the quality and the talent, and that's why it's kind of like it's really interesting.
So you're pinning their challenge for the top four on Emery really bringing them forward.
It will be Emery putting his style on. Putting his style and putting all the ingredients together, shaking it up and being like, there's a style that works in the Premier League.
Okay. Final vote then. Will Arsenal challenge for the top four? I'm going to stick with mine. I think the other teams are too far ahead, and I don't think anyone's going miles backward. I'm excited to see Chelsea and Sarri and how he moves them forward. I mean, I think it might take a little bit of time, but I think Spurs, this is the same thing every season. But they don't buy anyone. They've still got a great team there, and I still think
I don't think they'll get in the top four, but I think they'll challenge for the top four. But I don't think they'll get in the top four. I still think the top four will be the top four. I think might be a little bit of movement within it, but
I'm saying top four. Yeah,
okay, fair enough.
The top four.
Everyone's sticking with their answers at the moment. And final one: will Manchester United's disjointed pre-season negatively affect their Premier League season? Finished second last season.
Yep.
Which was an improvement. You had
bloody achievement. Right?
It was a bloody achievement. But I mean, Mourinho himself has said that the pre-season's been a bit of a nightmare.
But under Louis van Gaal,
do you think it makes any? So sorry, initial vote then. Do you think it will affect them?
No.
You don't think that makes any difference?
Pre-season.
I don't think it'll affect them in terms. I think they'll finish lower than they did last season, but I don't think that's because of the pre-season.
Okay. I think it will affect them because I think as we said on Social Club, or I said on Social Club, I think the way that Mourinho's kind of handling this, I think it's just so negative, and I think that leads into the start of the season. He's missing a hell of a lot of players, and that's a problem for all of the teams. I think the start of the season is going to be. It could be pretty crazy because you've got all these top teams who are missing so many players. Spurs are going to struggle, I think, as well the first couple of games because of the amount of players that they're missing. Man City, like you said, maybe Arsenal might have a good chance to do something there in that first game of the season. But I just think all of it added together, for me, I can just see this car crash in front of me in terms of the Leicester game. You've got Harry Maguire, the guy that they supposedly won. First game in the season, Friday night.
But it's one game.
I know it's one game, but that one game becomes 2 games, 3 games.
Mourinho is the king. Mourinho is the king of splitting up seasons. He knows exactly when you can. Look, when they won the Europa League, for the first few games, he didn't care. It was all about getting players in. He didn't really care. He didn't care about the away games. He knew, get out the group. I can win the home games and lose the away games. And he knew exactly. You go back and see how he manages a season. He's the best at it. Because he knows there's times in the league when you can almost take a loss. If it fits into the bigger picture, if it means a player has to sit out one more game because he's injured and it means you losing that game, he will lose that game if it means winning the next 4 games because that player's fit or whatever the permutation is. He's so good at doing that. Now maybe it's a little bit.
Isn't he renowned for playing the same team again and again, regardless?
No, but what I mean is that, but he's so good at just cutting the season up and not worrying about one particular. We all get panicky as everyone. When someone's having a bad spell, it's terrible. It's. I remember when Liverpool lost 2 games last season back to back, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world." But it was to them or to their manager, it was just like, "We've had a couple of bad games, so what?" But to everyone else, it's a nightmare, and I think Mourinho's just really good at riding out those storms, or creating those storms himself and then riding them out because it makes him look better. So I think Man United will probably finish 3rd this season, but it won't be because of the pre-season. It'll just be because teams have done better than them in the transfer window, which maybe plays into the pre-season.
But so do you not think the World Cup's going to have an effect at all on any of the teams?
No, I think it will do. Of course, it's going to have you. You're not training, are you? You're not training with your best players. So it will have a big effect, and I think that's why Arsenal will get a good start. I think it's why Spurs will struggle. I think Chelsea look quite good because it's a new style, and the players like Jorginho are already there, who are going to be controlling the play. But for United, in terms of pre-season, it's literally just getting fitness. That's again what it is. It's literally you're just going in there, you're going through the motions. Of course, you want to see a little bit more. You may want to see goals, but under Van Gaal, we beat Real Madrid and we beat Barcelona playing some expansive football. What happened with Louis van Gaal eventually? You know, it's this thing where you can't really take too much from pre-season, other than players that may emerge, like Andres Pereira, who's been brilliant in pre-season for United.
That's strange now, isn't it, with pre-seasons, that you've got these mad little tours around everywhere, and it does feel like there's not. I'm confused now. Do they mean anything anymore?
I think they do, in terms of. I think you can look at some players and think you're either not ready or you're past it. For some players, I think that's what we found in our pre-season. That some play, but think about a game of football. You're playing against, anyone, and you don't go to that game and say, well, we need to scout these players. So you just turn up blind and you play your style that you're trying to create during your pre-season. Whereas when the Premier League comes, the first game of the season, you're not suddenly just going to play that style. You're going to actually put some thought into who you're playing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So we, if you turn up and you're not going to. In our pre-season, we're trying to play this high line, this expansive football, where we've got centre-backs that can't play high line, but for everyone else, that's fine. Everyone else is trying to learn that, and we're trying to buy centre-halves who play it. But first game of the season, we're not going to play a high line against Wolves, because we know that it actually means something. So everyone's going to drop 10 yards back, and we're going to play a more default set in football, basically is what it is. You play to try and get a result, and then you move on and try and gradually get better. Whereas in pre-season, it's gung-ho, isn't it? You don't care. You've got kids playing, you've got older players, you're filling gaps with players in positions they wouldn't play. You're playing in these mad tournaments to the people who turn up in America, who Mourinho said don't turn up. But that's the only chance they're going to get to see their heroes up in, or just that Man United shirt. So it means something to them. So it becomes this distortion. Liverpool play Man United. How many people were there? Like 100,000 or something.
Yeah.
So for them beating Man United 4-1, it is a big thing. Of course it is. But to the manager, he understands. I was watching Man United play AC Milan, the penalty shootout, and it got to
laugh, wasn't it?
It got to 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And Gattuso standing there next to Mourinho, and you can tell it. They're both like, we just fucking go home. We just go home. And yet
it was almost like Frank Kessie missed that penalty on purpose. Like the last
we
penalty.
played in a tournament in the Algarve, where we got beat on penalties, and we'd already got beat. But because of the tournament rules, we had to keep taking penalties. Because when the points come, the way they do them, like the Emirates Cup and all that shit, which basically means whatever the results are, Arsenal still wins the tournament. We had to keep taking our penalties, even though we'd already lost. So all these mad factors come into it, where the managers are just like, yeah, we just wanted to see if he could play 90 minutes at right back.
so the final thing I would put forward with this argument is that Mourinho himself has said that he's not happy with everything. He's not happy with the squad that he's got. He's saying some of the players, I wish you'd come back. So, there's no truth in what he's saying himself?
He's playing all the games, isn't he? He sucked you right in.
He is sucking right. I believe in him on face value.
Have you got the stats for how many times he's played the game? I'd like to know.
He gets a cheeky wink once
I'd
in a
like to
while,
know.
Does he?
Yeah.
To the side.
Every 4th sentence, he looks to the left.
Right,
That's when he's telling a lie.
final vote then.
I'd hate to play poker against you. You'd be destroyed.
Well, yeah, you do me. Final vote then. The way it's gone this pre-season with Man United, who actually, do you know what I'm thinking about now? They've had bad pre-seasons in the past.
Yeah.
Well, no bad ones. Is it going to affect their season? Final vote.
No.
Final vote.
No.
Do you know what? I think you've convinced me there. Your expert opinion. You know Mourinho more than me. Doubt him at your peril. Yeah, right, fair enough. You'll be fine, United. Don't worry about it. There you go. Let us know your thoughts on all of these. Man United, on Arsenal, what can they do this season? And Jordan Pickford, should he go to Chelsea?